Hello my loves, I'm Ellie Frost. Thank you so much for being here. On this channel we're talking about a multidimensional approach, which means spiritual, mental, physical, energetic, and emotional approach to understanding and rapidly healing from narcissistic abuse, right? Why people have not been finding traditional therapies very effective, for example PTSD, or even breaking the attachment to the narcissist long after they leave, and dealing with the psychic attack, is because it's not being dealt with appropriately. If you don't understand the root cause, right, then you don't know what right tool to use. So I'm explaining that the reason a lot of this stuff goes on is because a lot's going on in the energetic and psychic realms. And PTSD, the thing that really changed that and healed that for me was treating it as what it is. It's emotional. We have an emotional body, not an emotional mind. PTSD, I've got some videos to help you with tools on this, must be dealt with on the level of the body. If you come into Sovereign, which I'm running at the moment, people are already saying we're going into module 3 soon, but you can catch up. It's all self-study, self-paced, doesn't matter where you start from. They're already coming into their bodies more. And when you come into your bodies more, the beauty of that is that the body automatically will process emotions, just like we go to the bathroom and process our food, right? But when you're in trauma, your body doesn't process the emotions. So you tend to just feel anxious and overwhelmed, but your body's not doing its natural job of processing the emotions. If the emotions don't get processed, we don't get out of the trauma response, plus our body breaks down and we're more susceptible to disease, like autoimmune, right? That's one thing. Look at me. That's one thing. I've got a couple of things. Thank you for your comments, by the way. I am listening and I'm responding to some, not because anyone said anything wrong, because it's very helpful for me to know where you are in your thoughts, so don't be afraid. I don't have to agree with everything you say, but I will respond to it, because what my job is to raise our consciousness. Yeah. And by raising our consciousness, if more of us are at this higher consciousness on the planet, we're spreading love. We're like, we're coming from a different energy, which will change things on the planet, not just for us, but for everyone we encounter, right? So there's a way to not just deal with the dark. There's a way to actually align with light and create beauty on this planet. But we've just got imbalance. So that's that part. Now, a lot of people have been talking a lot about, how does the narcissist become a narcissist? I've been explaining they make a spiritual choice to go dark. Now, is that often a trauma response? Sure, yeah, could be. But most things in the planet could be interpreted, or a lot of things, as a trauma response. Sometimes someone's, bullying trauma responses them into exercising and losing weight and actually feeling good about it. Sometimes, so there's lots of ways trauma responses influence us, but that doesn't make us choose to be a demon. I've had an enormous amount of trauma in my life. I'm sure a lot of you have, and I never ever chose to be dark. I always chose the light, and that's why God blesses me consistently. And that's why, actually, like I taught you in another video, when you channel from the divine, you can actually be receive miracles. When there's no way, God will help you. Whatever you believe in, a higher power will help you find a way. You can be divinely supported and guided and protected when you use the divine. So people who are thinking that because it could have been caused by a trauma response, we should excuse it, are completely misguided in this, right? Another reason being, every single person here, I imagine, from what we're talking about, has had trauma. And every single person here is taking absolute responsibility for their healing and impact on themselves and humanity as a result. They're not going around the planet destroying people as a result. Personal accountability and responsibility means that you are not responsible for detecting why someone's acting that way. They are. You are responsible for knowing and owning your own behavior and looking very clearly and seriously at why you are behaving a certain way and how it's impacting other people. The first person you need to come into relationship with is yourself. So if you join Sovereign, it's all about that, and learn how to self-partner, look after yourself, self-parent, parent yourself, be the mama papa bear that you never had, so you can set boundaries and actually honor your needs, not just when they're chronic and out of control, but your simple needs, your desires, your truth, what your little girl and little boy inside needs. When they need to go, they need to go. When they've had enough, they've had enough. Stop pushing and forcing and fixing killing ourselves and actually let's start having a relationship with ourselves. That's one of the keys to becoming sovereign and what I teach in that program. But we are not supposed to enable, excuse, or be part of the problem by saying, oh, well, yeah, they're acting terribly, but they had a difficult childhood and that excuses it. I had a terrible childhood. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of you did. That does not excuse it. Every human being on the planet is here to take self-responsibility. They're responsible for themselves. You're not responsible for their behaviour. They are. They are responsible for their behaviour and the impact it has on other people. I taught in an earlier video when I studied law, what was so, like if people were in court for murder, right? The difference between murder and manslaughter is, I think it's called mens rea in Latin and actus rea. What it means is with intent or not with intent. So they would get they still did the crime, but manslaughter charge if there was no intent, and a murder charge if they could prove intent. Now, the narcissist intends to hurt you, knows it's causing you pain, and continues. Complete intent. So who gives a shit where it came from? They are conscious in the now moment that they are doing something that's either a betrayal, active act of causing suffering, right? Or some other terrible thing with malicious intent most of the time, and they know it hurts you. They know what they're doing. They know the impact of their behavior. What they refuse to do is choose healing. What they refuse to do is choose personal accountability and responsibility and growth. They don't care. And that there's no excuse for. In which case, it's not someone who is making a mistake, which all of us should be welcome to do, part of learning and living. We've all made mistakes in these relationships. We've all enabled narcissists, right? We've all been probably an enabler, or even worse, maybe a flying monkey, who knows? But we were under the spell, right? But now what we're doing in this container is saying, look, I'm going to take responsibility for my behaviour and my actions. I'm going to look at myself. I'm going to look at where it came from, and I'm going to look at how it's impacting other people and myself. That's personal accountability and responsibility. Yeah? Narcissist doesn't care about that. So you can't then say, well, I'm excusing it because it came from trauma. Sure. Do you know what else came from trauma? I mentioned Hitler because I was explaining how this works in terms of narcissism. So there's one demon, strong demon, say Hitler, and you can cause a Holocaust from this kind of dangerous consciousness, right? He was an artist. Before he started the Holocaust, guess what? He got refused for one of the biggest art universities on the planet. So he channeled his trauma into the Holocaust, you could say, yeah? But it's irrelevant. The behaviour he knew was terrible and he was intending to do it. You might be bullied and and that might encourage you to, like I said, if you were bullied for being overweight, you might start a fitness program, but you didn't need to be bullied to get there. But sometimes it can have a positive response. Sometimes it can have a negative response. It's irrelevant. You are responsible for you on this planet. Every act you make in relation to humanity is your accountability and responsibility. And it's none of your business what other people's, what caused other people's behaviour. That's on them. So we've got to start a movement where people take personal responsibility and accountability, stop trying to detective other people or excuse other people by giving it cause and effect that you know nothing about. You don't know if that narcissist would be a narcissist anyway. You can't prove it was the trauma. Just like in any of our lives, you can't say it's there's lots of reasons for cause and effect. There are probabilities, sure, but why are we getting into semantics? Why are we going into, they have intellectualized this issue for so long. Most of you have not healed because you're not being told the root cause. People don't know it's not their fault, and the right tools, which I'm giving you. And secondly, because you've been spun around in circles by an industry that's going, what flavour of a narcissist is it? What degree of narcissism is it? Is it causing you suffering, taking you out of yourself, out of your growth, and damaging your life? It's enough to know. Well, what degree is it? What degree of pain do you want, my darling? Do you want to come and sit on the couch with me and I'll start pinching your arm? At what point does it get too much? Or are you going to say, I'm a sovereign being put on the planet by God who deserves to have a beautiful life? At what point are we just going to draw the line and say, look, this isn't working? Being in therapy for years, gaslighting in the industry. The industry is gaslighting people. Oh, we've got a new flavour of narcissist. It's pretty fucking simple what they are. They do the same sequence. It's an entity of consciousness. Now, someone Someone said about channeling. Oh, be careful of channeling. I'm not saying this to be sarcastic. You're welcome here, as long as you've got the right intent to grow, learn and heal, and you've got a wish to learn from me. And be in the community and collectively contribute. You don't have to agree. You're here to find your truth, but with a pure intention for healing, growth, expansion and collective good, right? Anyone that's not here for that, then this isn't the place for you. You can go watch Netflix, probably. It's a better place for entertainment. This isn't for entertainment. I take this very seriously. I almost lost my life twice, and I've helped a lot of people been through an awful lot of shit. A lot of beautiful people that I don't want to see suffer and that I know don't have to. So the other question was about channeling, and someone said, wow, channeling, isn't that, couldn't dark things come? No, I channel from the divine. God gives me a gift. Narcissists are psychic. They're using, that consciousness is using telepathy. We know it. It's a psychic attack. That's why they know your needs and wants. That's why they know how to get to you, right? Do you not think God puts you, me, other people on the planet with the same kind of talent, same kind of gift for good? I can show you how to open up your channel. You have the ability to be, you know this, you can telepathically feel when someone's going to call you. You can feel things in consciousness. I don't want to empower people to use that for not good. That's why I keep talking about consent. I do not agree with psychics using dark magic. I do not agree with people invading consent, including saying they're making spell work to try and manipulate a human. I do not believe in manipulation. I don't read people. If you comment here, I don't read you. You haven't given me the consent. To me, that would be the same as like stripping you naked or going into your home unannounced or uninvited. I don't do it. Just because I've got these gifts, I treat it as sacred. I treat you as sacred. God will bless me more with more and more of these gifts because I do it in integrity. And I am going to teach you how to open up your intuition because you need it. You need it to keep yourself safe, but please don't abuse it and don't buy into... Just because someone's a psychic or a healer, there are plenty of dark magicians in the world. I met one. He tried to kill me with his stupid magic and his voodoo dolls. I know. I didn't even know about psychic attack until I actually had it in real life. My phones weren't working. I made a video on this. Oh, it exists. Until I knew what it was and I channeled the divine, and that man almost fell backwards out the door just from me putting my hand up. I didn't know I could do that. That was the divine. That was God telling me to go down those stairs and not be scared anymore. That was God's voice. I channel the divine. Reiki healers, people like that. We use our energy. We channel from the divine, your healing, so that we can connect with you. That's good. This is good on the planet. Do not stop this. Stop this idea of like, if you channel, there's something strange. God is going to put his people on the planet and open your gifts. He's going to give you powers to be able to defeat the dark through your intuition, through your heart, through choosing him. He will make a way where there's no way. I am a complete miracle in so many ways because there are so many times in my life where I should have died. It was impossible. People are talking about hardship. My goodness. I was in a foreign country, no friends, no family, not allowed any welfare, not allowed any rights, at a point where I was literally homeless at one point, and I had to make it work, and I did find a way through my own business, yes, through the work I've been doing. Not the healing work at that point so much, because I would never heal someone if I wasn't clean. You know what I mean? I don't heal people when I'm traumatized. I've done a lot of business development work with solar line visionaries and stuff for years. But I had to make it work in very, very terrible situations where there wasn't a break for me. There was not a break, and I was ill. I was having to fight my way through, and God did make a way, and it was so hard, right? But at the same time, during that time, my channels opened so big. He was showing me something. He was showing me, one, the whole truth. I think he was putting me in some of those places so I could help people more. And two, if I can keep coming back the way I did and move mountains and use that channel to create miracles in my life, then what can I do on this planet for all of us? You know what I mean? To no longer see this as something that we have to put up with, that this imbalance has got grossly imbalanced, and actually by more of us healing and coming into our abundance and truth and purpose, we can literally change it on the planet. That's what I believe. So the channeling is awesome when it comes to what I can do. God gave it to me for a reason, and I am a child of God, a child of this universe, using it for the highest good for all of us. I set very pure intentions. I set for the highest good for me, for you, and for the collective. Anyone working in spell work, manipulation, lack of consent, if you meet a psychic and you're asking them to influence someone in a way they're not consenting to, I disagree. It's an abuse of power in the same way as the narcissist is using psychic powers to abuse you. It's the same abuse of power as any other assault. I see it as an assault. I work consensually. I never even read for my clients unless we are in agreement on a session and they let me read for them. But that energy that you can channel, I can channel, we can channel when we open can heal people, can actually let God speak through you. So no, channeling in the right way from the right light is beautiful and is our absolute gift. You can all do it. All open your intuition, all open your creativity and come into your heart and see past the crap of the demons on the planet. You need to open your gifts. So do not think for a minute there's anything impure about that. But be very, very specific and clear about what you're talking about when we're talking about narcissists. And stop intellect. The reason you're still sick, the reason you're not curing is because you're not seeing the spiritual context, using the right tools for the right root cause, and we're intellectualizing something that's very, very simple when you see it for what it is. All right, my loves, I love you. Keep commenting and I'll speak to you soon.